Okay, so that is recorded. So remember, all my Zoom family, if you guys can just leave your guys' questions in the chat, I'll see them in the chat. And then Facebook, same thing. Okay. So Facebook, out there in Facebook world. Sorry if I like look over, I'm like looking at my phone. Do you guys have any questions? Like start dropping them in the chat. I will, let me just shut that real quick. I was about to say I'm gonna be on here as long as you guys have questions, but that's kind of the same, but it's kind of not. So if you guys have questions, I'm going to spend this time with you guys to answer those questions. Now, I hear the bed calling my name, and that's no need to rush out by any means, but I'm just saying that I'm not gonna beg for questions, okay? So please use this time to ask any questions. And I see people are still hopping in on Zoom. Why did I create this company? Good question. Now which company? My cleaning company or the CEO Cleaning Academy company? Let me know. I'll come back to you. So questions on Zoom. Do you think the independent contractor agreement you provided us on Circle will suffice? Am I saying that right? Suffice for our cleaners to sign, or do I need a lawyer to look over it? Now, I mean, for please mute. For added protection, I'm going to always advise finding a lawyer, right? I know there's some people in the group that was saying, you know, you can find a contract on Esty, because like your contract is essentially whatever you want it to be. However you want to bind this relationship with your cleaner and yourself, that is the kind of information that you want to put in your contract, right? That we're not going to force dispatch, that we pay every Friday, or I'm sorry, I'm saying my things, okay? So we don't force dispatch, we pay every Friday, the first week is held. I pay 50% or 60%, right? Our contract will be null and void, or will be, you know, non-existent if these certain things are not met, as in late, how many times you're late, negative reviews, how many negative reviews, right? No shows. I kind of have a no-show, policy, unless it's like something super serious and they kind of like provide me with some kind of explanation, okay? So that is essentially like what you can put in your contract. So you can even create your own. Yes, you can also find a lawyer to look one over. We have our business attorney that's our partner, and she actually provides those services of like creating a contract for you. But like I say, like, I think some of you guys are like on here that know, like my feelings for the contract is, I don't feel like a paper is going to make a difference of them like abiding in what I'm asking them, whether like, you know, don't steal or talk to any of my clients, don't, you know, wear any marketing materials, right? Like, I just feel like that one piece of paper is not going to make a difference of their true intentions. And I'm not physically hiring them, so I can't physically fire them. It's just our working arrangement, like your services are no longer needed, right? So yeah, so that's my sentiments, but definitely, definitely a lawyer is just always just a good way just to seal it in. And like I said, I've seen people mention that you can get a contract, like you can create a contract from Esty. Oh, my cleaning company. So I created my cleaning company because I was broke, y'all. If you haven't heard this story before, also for some of those that don't know, like I go into details on this on this my YouTube channel as well. I literally created it because I was broke. I needed access to funds, and I've been in business before. So I've been in like product-based businesses and you know, drop shipping businesses, several other kind of businesses before, right? And I'm familiar that with those kind of businesses, you need funding ahead of time. So I needed a business that I can start with no money, right? Like literally nothing. And I know that service-based businesses, you can provide the service, you can get paid before you provide the service, right? So I was talking to a friend, I was in a really bad financial situation. I just had my youngest son. My husband was out there in West Texas trying to get work on the oil fields because he's a truck driver, but like literally nothing would happen for him. And I mean, we were just really bad. Like we were getting cars repoed and one car would leave and another car would leave. And I mean, I laugh about it now, but definitely back then I was crying about it. Like, but and then the last thing was, coming home from the grocery store with my baby and there's an eviction notice on our door. So I literally lost everything and I needed a way to be able to contribute to the household financially. While my husband was still trying to out there grind to get work out there in West Texas. So that's essentially why I did it. I'm familiar with cleaning. I knew that I could do it because I didn't know the process of hiring during that time, of the contractors and things. So I knew that I grew up old school. Nana taught me how to clean, that I could be able to do that. And then, of course, over time, I didn't even think that the business was going to grow up and go as fast as it did. Because I didn't think that many people actually pay to get their house cleaned. I'm like, I clean my own house. My mama cleaned her own. But I knew clean their own house. So, that was just a very, out of the box experience, like a total wake up call. And then once I saw the profit coming in, I was like, okay, let's get this thing rolling like a business. Okay. Like I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Sorry, y'all, old school Jay-Z. Okay. What is the best way to bid on a commercial office and residential? So commercial office, my access to that kind of information is very limited, but we do have our partner Kendall, and he's in the Facebook group. If you tag him in a post, he'll answer the question for you. And then he does have a Facebook. I don't think I was trying to link it, but I don't. But I think it's called Cleaning Crew. But what I do know, I'm not even going to that because he tried to give me some information, but I don't fully remember it. Now, residential, the best way for residential is going to be like your lead generation sites. So your Google, your Yelp, your Thumbtack, your Google Ads, your Yelp Local, depending on what area you're in, because some areas offer Yelp Local and some areas don't. And Yelp Local is very similar to Google Local, where you're paying a one price for the lead. Is not like a PPC, which is a PPC is paid per click. And that's going to be in your Yelp ads and your Google ads, right? I find, with this kind of business, you can either invest in time or you can invest in money. Okay. Meaning if you have access to funding and you have money to be able to invest on leads for Thumbtack, Yelp, Google, then you're going to be able to attract clients faster. If you may not have access to funding, then your time for growth may take a little longer, but the growth will still come, right? When I started, y'all heard me, I didn't have nothing, okay? I got $25, I put it on Thumbtack, and I got one lead, and I got that lead, and that total profit, I put the whole thing back to get more leads. And that was kind of like the cycle that I did, right? Until I can start taking some money out and putting it aside for my family needs and that thing. But my main focus was business growth. My husband was still in West Texas. He did end up coming back. We ended up having to move in with my mom in her apartment, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, small apartment, y'all. And it was 5 of us in 1 bedroom. So it was myself and my husband and my 3 kids. And Jay Savory was a newborn. Okay. And he was not a good newborn. So that's how I did it. Now, of course, that may not be the same for everybody's store. If you have access to marketing dollars, then definitely invest that into marketing dollars, right? Invest it smart, like figure out what's going to bring you the fastest. Like don't try to go wide, right? Don't try to invest it in everything at the same time. This is just my thought, right? Don't try to invest it in everything. Kind of invest small. Now, if one is not working, then try another one, right? Because sometimes different areas may not produce those leads. We had 2 clients. One client was in like one part of Florida. The other client was in another part of Florida. The client that was like in one side of Florida was like booming with Thumbtack leads. And the other client in the other part of Florida was kind of slow, right? It doesn't mean there wasn't clientele. It just maybe Thumbtack wasn't their arena and they needed to try another option. Okay, I'm gonna toddle back and forth. Okay, Facebook, and then if I see two questions that's the same on both, I'll just answer that for one, okay? So are employees W-2 or 1099? So employees are going to fall in the W-2 category. Contractors, independent contractors are gonna fall into the contractor side. And remember, I'm trying to have that, it was supposed to be December, but we're mixing some things around, so I need to look at the schedule. Do I have it written down? No. So I don't know if it's December or January. I'm going to have like that more in depth, because I've been doing a lot of study on the difference. And then I'm going to bring somebody in, a partner trainer, to teach on the W-2 side as well of what that looks like. But the W-2 side is with employees. So that means you'll have to pay state taxes, workers' comp. I don't know. I'm not sure. See, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if workers' comp is required. But workers' comp, unemployment insurance, right? So things like that is what you have to pay for. But as we can see, like there may be some different incentives. Now, of course, you can't go back and claim like that ECR thing, like that new grant thing, but there are some benefits and there are some funding opportunities if you do have employees too, right? Which is better, 1099 or W-2? So I think it depends on your business need and like how you're like what are you able to start, like as in like financially wise, because like I mentioned, if you have W-2, you have those startup things that you have to pay for each employee, right? Where like a 1099 contractor, you're able to much easily start with that person, that contractor, because you're not having to pay any of those upfront fees or you're not having to worry about any of that. You literally just find a contractor, make sure that they're qualified, right? Run your background check, make sure that they have insurance and onboard them. Where with the W-2, you have to pay all those different things. So I'm always going to be for the 1099. Now you can always also change. You can always convert your 1099 to W-2 later, and you don't have to do it all at once. Like maybe find like your first cleaner, your best cleaner, turn them into a lead cleaner, make them a W-2. Right. And then you can slowly convert your other ones. So that way you have it as a process and you're saving up your funds while you're doing so. But I'm always pro 1099 person, just because I feel like the process is so much easier. Some people say that having a W-2, you can have more control over your cleaners and the quality of work. Right? Because I mean, when you have a W-2, like when you have a 1099, you can't force dispatch, you can't make them tell them or have them do anything your certain type of way, right? You can't provide any disciplinary, right? For a 1099 either, right? Now I have a policy to where, after so many reviews, they lose high priority of getting leads, right? Or after something that's kind of like my flow of things. But you can't like technically like, write them up or do all those things. And it kind of goes back to my same thing with the contract. There's people that's out here that have a W-2 that still will act a bum nut fool too. You know what I mean? That will still be a no-show, that still be late, that still do a bad job. So when that lack of that control thing, yes, it is a thing and you will have more control, but do you really? Like, is that going to really make them listen more because you write them up? You know what I mean? So that's my thing. Okay. Let's see. I'd rather start with 1099. Have an employee is a lot of responsibility. It really is. It really is. It comes with a lot of extraness. Okay. And sometimes people like how people feel like they want to have that more control, right? They want their company to feel like a real company. My company can feel like a real company without having 1099s, right? And without having W-2s. And sometimes people feel like if people have 1099s instead of W-2s, that they feel like they're getting over on the people that's the 1099s. And I don't feel that way, because like I treat my cleaners extremely well. Okay. I mean, extremely well. So I don't get, now I know that's not the same for everybody, but I don't get over or try to pay super low or, do different things. Like I treat my cleaners very well, because I know that the growth of my business depends on them, and how my business grows is by me respecting them, by me paying them well, and always having open communication with them. If I'm having a holiday sale and I'm having 25% off, I'm going to let them know, hey, you guys, this month we're offering a 25% off. So 25% off is coming off of both of the total wage amount. So your percentage amount your pay for this normal price would be low, but this is our plan to be able to increase clientele, right? So what do? They make sure they do even in more exceptional jobs, so that way we can get more clients, okay? Do you have a PDF example of a contract that we can use? Yes, it's in the membership. I'm trying to work with the business attorney to get us another one. This is like the third one I got, but I do have a sample one in there. Do you think NYC is oversaturated? No. Start a 1099 contracting cleaning business, or do you think NYC is a good place to start? I don't know, because I don't know like where we're at in NYC, but I know that I had a done for you client. And this is maybe I got posted a story in the Facebook group when this happened, but she had her cleaning business in NYC, and I don't know what kind of which area that she was covering, but I finished setting up all her stuff. We went live on her Thumbtack, and literally within an hour, she had 9 leads. We was like, wow. She had 3 cleaners. So she was like, Jazz, I'm gonna have to go clean. I'm like, well, girl, I mean, you either gonna do it, or you're gonna reassign, or you're gonna reschedule them bad boys, okay? But I mean, so I feel like no place is oversaturated. When I see cleaning companies and I do that initial market research, it just further lets me know that there's a market for my business there. But like I said, you really can't know the market too much. I can view it and measure it and research it from a distance, just from outside looking in, but you really won't know a thing until you get in that thing and you open that thing, and then you really see how it goes. And the best part about this kind of business is, you can essentially run this business from anywhere. So the girl that had her business in NYC, she was like, Jack, this business is doing so dope. I'm going to go for location number 2. I'm like, do your thing, girl. So she opens it up in Miami, I can't remember the other city name, but Miami, other city, right? And it was not doing that well, right? She's like, shoot, I'm about to jump ship, right? I'm like, hold on, slow down, give it some time. Let's test out some other ones. So she was going to test out some other ones to see how it's going. I haven't checked in with her to see yet how Miami's going, but now she's getting ready to open up a location in Dallas, right? So, I mean, you can open up any kind of business anywhere. So if it's not doing well in NYC, or if you don't want NYC, don't feel forced to do NYC or whatever city or area that you're in. Okay, I wrote the question wrong. I was asking, which do you recommend for cleaning business, but you answered that one, W-2. Yeah, so I recommend 1099 all day. That is my recommend. If I 1099 all day is the fastest, easiest, cheapest way that you can get started with your cleaning business without you having to do any of the cleaning, point blank, period. It's just so easy. I mean, it's so easy. Now, like I mentioned in my post earlier today, right? You want to make sure that your hiring practices are in place, because you don't want to hire fast. You want to hire slow and fire fast. You don't want to hire in a need or in a rush, because I've been in situations to where I had a no-show and I was doing the interviews and I was like, well, hey, are you available today by chance? Look, and they were a no-show. They probably was like, this girl is crazy. Okay. 1099 is more acceptable to audit. Yes, they are. But like I said, if you just do it all right, that's why I love Gusto. I pay all my 1099 contractors. everything is by the book, right? Now, of course, in the beginning, I was doing that Cash App and that Zelle and that PayPal, okay? But if everything is straight, like you won't have to worry, right? If you make sure that you're handling your cleaners right, then you won't have to worry, right? If you ever do anything that runs out of the scope of what a 1099 is supposed to do, then make sure you have them signed. Now, that's where I would say you have them signed somewhere, right? So like we had a cleaner, like we had cleaners one time, they was like, can we get some shirts? Can we get some shirts? And normally you can't make your 1099s wear uniforms. So if I would have went through with that, I'm like, look here, I need all y'all to sign something to say that y'all asked for these shirts, okay? Because they're not gonna be coming looking for me. But if you have all your stuff straight, you're not forced dispatching. That's why I like booking Koala. I have the jobs go directly to there. They can snatch them if they want to snatch them. When job calls come in, we're sending out a text notification. Hey, we have this assignment at this date, at this time. This is the amount of money. Please respond back who was available and would like this job, right? Now, if nobody answers back, that's when I go seek, but I'm still just, I'm not letting them know like, hey, Sarah, I'm assigning you this job. You better be there tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Okay. So Gusto pays, Booking Koala manages them. You can use Wave or QuickBooks to like manage your finances, but as long as all those things are in a row, you'll be fine. Could you provide a contact info for the business person that you mentioned that looks over the contracts? Yes. And are you in the membership? If you're in the membership, it's already in there, but I will post it as well. And if I don't, send me a DM and remind me. How can I vet contractors that have specialties experiences with daycares and clinics? I would just state that specifically in your job ad. So like if you're posting a job ad, like on a care.com or what is it? Indeed, then I would state that specifically, like what it is you're actually looking for with, because like with Indeed, you can put like certain criteria of what you're looking for. So if you need them to actually have that kind of experience and be able to handle, that kind of, chemicals and being able to know what to touch, what not to touch, then yeah, I would just make sure like you just let them know that specifically. And if by chance you are going with W-2, then you can train. That's another thing. If you have W-2 employees, you necessarily don't have to have, like they don't have to have experience because you can actually train them on how to do things your correct way, how you want everything to be done. You want them to use your towel system. You're able to do that. 1099, you don't. Now with W-2s, you also have to provide them with supplies and equipment as well. How much do you spend on average running? I think the background check is like 25 or 27 per person, and it's on Checkr. And if you have Gusto, Checkr, they have Checkr as I almost thought it was like intertwined on Gusto, but like they have some sort of like partnership. So for you to be able to run a background check out. So I don't know the fees if you do it that way, because I just always do it through the account. Let's see, if I plan to expand the business in a different area, 400 miles away, how can I give a quote for a service using contractors? Essentially the same way. So like I never did like in-person estimates, over the phone estimates. Now over the phone, if they're calling in from like a Google or Yelp, but never like an estimate, like, hey, can you, give me all this information and I'll like figure out an estimate. So I like to do like instant booking, and our website on Booking Koala is set up to handle that. And it's based upon the size of the home. So the square feet, how many bedrooms and bathrooms, and the type of cleaning. So deep clean, standard, move in and move out, heavy duty. So I just take all of those parameters plug those into Booking Koala, and that gives me the price. So whether I'm talking to somebody that's in Arizona and they tell me, now, of course, you want to do your market pricing research for that area. But if I'm here in Texas, I go to the website for that area and I will still have the same pricing parameter price quote for that company. So it can easily be done, like easily. What is good coverage amount for insurance? Should my cleaners be required to have a certain amount? That's a good question. I'm still looking for an insurance person. I was speaking to somebody and they said that Hiscox minimum is $300K, but I'm not sure because I think that's all predicated on like the information you provide them. So I don't know. I don't really know for insurance questions. I feel like 300K is like beyond good. I feel like 100K minimum is like good. Oh, monthly. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't know, but I'll try to look for you and find out. And that's for the background check monthly question. And Crystal, if I forget, please remind me. Okay, I'm struggling with hiring. I'm getting tons of leads and jobs, but no cleaners. I'm assuming it's busy time of the year for the cleaners. You know, I think it's kind of hard because like I said, it is holiday season and they do want to work. I mean, they do want to be with their families, but the right cleaners also are looking for work because it's holiday season, right? I would definitely say, I don't know if you, Naomi, do you have any cleaners right now? Because I would definitely make sure that you're not accepting too many, or like you have like your lead volume down some, so that way you're not passing up or missing out on leads, right? Because I've been in that situation before to where, you know, I've had leads but not enough cleaners, and I have, you know, too many cleaners and not enough leads. And I would definitely rather be in that situation than the other situation. So definitely check out Indeed, check out Craigslist, check out Facebook groups, check out Facebook marketplaces. Facebook, there's also like Facebook hiring groups in your city. So if you go to Google and you search up like hiring groups and stuff like in your city, you'll be able to find some that way too. Okay. How do you retain contractors in the beginning when still trying to gain clients? It may be slow, 3 to 4 weeks. I just be open and honest with them. Like I let them know, like, I don't try to put on the front like, oh yes, you know, we're banging and we have these clients coming out of our earlobes. I just let them know that, hey, you know, we are a new company that's growing in this area. We're investing all of our, we're investing in a lot of different marketing options to bring in new clientele. As soon as we get clients, we'll definitely let you know. And then we just keep them updated like, hey, you know, hey, Sarah, this is Jasmine from so-and-so. Just want to let you know that we're still looking for clients. If you have any questions for us, please let us know. Okay. And that's pretty much all I do. I mean, because there's really nothing else I can do. I'm not going to send them, for me personally, I'm not going to send them on jobs and pay them anyways. And it's like my uncle's house. Cause like, I didn't have the money to waste and I didn't want to waste it. So I literally just be open with them. On the movie set cleaning training, you said you would post things like products she used when on her site. Oh, she went out of town. She sent me a message. She went out of town. She had to go to a job. So she said, as soon as she gets back, she will let me know and I'll add that. I know I was trying to wait till I had like all the things to add for it, but I really wanted to get the training out there. So, but she said like, as soon as she gets back, she'll give it to me. What type of insurance does a 1099 contract need? General liability. Oh, one case sounds a little too high. I mean, not a little too, one case sounds like a lot. Cause I mean, like the other thing, like the background checks are between $25 to $27 each. And I'm not sending everybody to the background check. Like, you know, like I'm going to weed them out and only send the best ones that I know is going to be like a full blown, that now that's me investing like even more investing in this client, in this cleaner. So I don't send them to the background check unless I know for sure they're coming back. Do you recommend mailing out marketing materials to current customers? I've never done it before, but like, you know, so I don't really know the benefit, like if it works. If anybody's ever done like snail mail marketing, definitely like chime in on the comments, because I've never particularly done it. But like I was telling, like we were talking in the movie training, right? You know, it was so amazing because Miss Auntie Kim, like she was like, a lot of her business growth came from relationship, networking. And I was like, man, that really just opened my eyes a lot, because I'm super like online, baby. If it's not online, then it ain't coming. But that really opened up my eyes. So I never say no to any kind of marketing, because you're only gonna know when you test it out, when you find that out. Text message, definitely. Email, definitely. Building awareness in your local community, definitely. Like those are my, you know, 3 things that's like not with like, you know, direct Thumbtack, Yelp, Google.